Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are in for a treat. If you grew up on Harry Potter, ladies and gentlemen, especially the ladies, put a towel under your seat, okay? Because today on the podcast, we have none other than the original childhood villain. Beowulf. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, where was I? I was rudely interrupted by my pet owl. Today on the podcast, we have none other than Draco Malfoy, aka Austin-based comedian Joe McNamara. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Evan. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. It is, if someone's just listening to this podcast, you have to know, you have to go watch this podcast, okay? Because you're not dealing with a regular podcast. This is the #1 doppelganger. When I first saw you, I went, dude, that guy is Malfoy.
Yeah.
Has that been your entire life since those movies came out?
Honestly, it didn't really start up until college, which...
Really?
Yeah, you would think otherwise. You would think like high school, junior high, because that's like the age when the movies came out, but now mostly college. Did
you watch the movies?
Not at all. I was not a big Harry Potter guy at all.
Wow.
But I tried to like get more into, like, ever since I've been a comic, I'm like, I kind of got to double down on it. It's kind of avoidable on stage, unavoidable on stage.
So have you watched all the movies now?
No, I haven't seen the last two.
Oh my God.
I know like the last book is like really big. I never read any of the books.
I'll be honest, this is heartbreaking. I thought we were dealing with a different beast today. Have you used it to your advantage?
Yeah.
Looking like, yeah?
Yeah, I have for sure.
How so?
One of my jokes I have is like the first time I ever dressed up as Draco Malfoy was in college. And it was just like, this girl was really into Draco Malfoy, and
dude,
I had the outfit on.
Have you thought about doing an OnlyFans account as Draco Malfoy?
If I could quit, or like if I quit or I get fired from my 9-to-5 job, I feel like that'd be a good move.
There is such a niche for you. It is kind of weird that even when I was looking up Harry Potter stuff today, so much of the what's on the internet is sexual about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing.
They're weird.
Yeah. When you were with this young lady, did she call you Draco, or was she?
She never once. I never once exchanged real names with this girl.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to give away too much because it is like a good bit. I'm like, I'm gonna start doing punchlines and shit on accident. But yeah, it's just one of those goofy things that I'm like, I kind of wrote it into joke format because I'm like, I can't believe that happened, you know, because I was just like lazy.
Yeah.
And my friends told me there was a costume party, blah, 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 blah. And I thought it'd be fun. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to do the Draco Malfoy. Everyone calls a lot, that's my nickname sometimes is Malfoy. I'm just going to throw on the damn, like I was basically dressed like this.
Yeah.
Except for I was wearing a suit jacket instead of the kid. So I was suited up. I like slicked back my hair. I had a wand just like this.
Oh.
And everybody was like wearing silly costumes at this party, and I was like,
and you were sleeked up, looking good.
Yeah, it was sleek.
Damn. Wow. Were there puns exchanged during the sexual act?
No, in the bits there are, but you could just tell this girl liked Harry Potter.
Man.
Yeah.
See, that's something that I've never experienced, is that kind of role playing where it's like you're playing a character, a fictional character. Did you feel like you were being used, or were you just happy to be there?
I mean, I was drinking. I was a young guy. I think I was just happy to be there. I'm like, fuck
it. Ladies and gentlemen, we thought it'd be fun for all the Harry Potter fans out there. We were going to do some Harry Potter puns that we came up with, jokes. Would you like to go first, or would you like to go second?
Yeah, I'll go first. Let's take tips just in case.
I love that.
All right, these are all really bad. Never sleep with a wizard. Most of them have STDs, and I don't want to get Hogwarts. We're going back to back.
Okay, now here's the thing. It shows where our mind first goes. My first joke has similar.
Yeah.
I hooked up with this chick from Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
She was kind of a pig.
Nice.
She gave me Hogwarts.
All right. This is she likes the dark arts, so I decided to slither in her DMs.
Ooh.
It's an easy one.
Yeah. I stayed away from Slytherin stuff because I was like, that's your
your
thing.
I try not to get too into the Slytherin stuff because I'm like, oh shit, I might actually need to add that to my act.
This is more of an adventure. There was this one hot witch I had in class that I wanted to go out with. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Harry Potter right now. Okay.
Puerto Rican Harry Potter.
Puerto Rican Harry Potter.
Yeah.
There was once, there was this hot witch I had in class that I want to go out with it. I told her that you take my breath away and you got that ass, ma. And I'd like to get a Hufflepuff.
Back to the Hufflepuff. That's an underrepresented
right?
group.
I feel like it is.
Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. Nobody cares about those guys.
Ravenclaw, I'm just like, I literally had to Google if it was actually a house in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I was like, they did nothing.
Yeah, they're just irrelevant.
And Hufflepuff was like the people who had to be part of the team, like all the like the, what do you call them when you get a trophy? Like you just participated trophy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like if they were like, you're not going to be a good wizard, you're going to be.
Yeah, like the Hufflepuffs are pussies.
Yeah,
they're kind of pussies.
It's like a cubicle wizard.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be kind of just like data entry.
Okay. Yeah. Back the line.
Yeah,
wizard. All right, where did I stop at?
Slytherin the DMs.
Oh yeah. Here's one. I got a good joke about Voldemort. Actually, it's more of a Tom Riddle.
Ooh, I'll touch your tip on that one. That was good.
See, I did my research. I might not have watched all the movies, but I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's actually, I like that. There was this pretty funny African American witch who was always playing tricks on people. Her name was Wanda Sykes.
Sykes.
Yeah, Psych.
All right, they only get worse from here. Emma Watson is wifey material. I'd for sure take a Hermione. That's bad. Because the knee for marriage, Hermione.
Okay, that was a thinker.
These were on the way over here.
Yeah. I wrote these about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Dumbledore was an old gay queen, and I loved him for it. There's no joke. That's more just
that's just personal. These are my last two. They're both kind of in that ballpark.
Okay.
What do you call? Oh, that's so bad. What do you call a stupid entrance? A Dumbledore.
Ooh.
And then what do you call a gay entrance? A Dumble backdoor. That's enough for me.
I like that. At Hogwarts, I had a serious problem. I used to go into town and pay for hookers. It was a real Horcrux.
That's pretty good.
All right, and this is my last one.
Yeah, what do you got?
I really do think witches are the best. Nothing better than a woman with a broomstick in one hand and my wand in the other. You know what I'm saying? Am I right?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. One thing that people don't realize, and maybe they do, whenever you do a costume podcast, you have to be in the costume the whole time. Yeah. And this isn't cold. This like we're wearing a scarf in Texas right now. So I just want people to know there's a commitment going on to this bit. Okay. So yeah, man, I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about it. As soon as I was putting on the scarf, I'm like,
it's a little warm, starting getting toasty. I put the AC down.
I'm committing to it though.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. You have to commit.
It's like it's Halloween again, dude.
For the rest of your life.
I do.
Is there ever a point where you're like, it's over? Like you're thinking, this isn't going to be forever. I'm going to ride this until.
I think I got 10 good years of my hair left until I gotta shave it.
Do you historically, like your family, you're like, we're going bald?
I think, yeah.
Really?
For sure. Yeah. Hairline recedes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'll do the Malfoy jokes or whatever.
You have great hair too. It's feathery and it's like, I don't even know. Yeah.
All right. Did a good job today then. Yeah, but as long as I got the hair, I feel like it's unavoidable. Cause like, especially now, I get on stage every night. Mm-hmm. If I'm not, and I don't always do the Draco Malfoy stuff. I don't always like doing looks like jokes. Cause they do feel like a little hacky, but also if I don't bring it up, there's always that asshole who's like, oh, I didn't know Harry Potter fuckers told jokes. Oh, I didn't know Malfoy was funny. And then I'm like, fuck, I wish I got ahead of it.
Yeah.
Because then they would be on my side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd be on my side.
There's definitely, because I have jokes that I like, especially early on, would open with acknowledging how I look. Like if I look like a jock or like I have a bit about Axe body spray. And I do like doing that. And it's only for a certain part of your career that you have to do acknowledgement jokes because people don't necessarily know who you are.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
And then you can get past it because that is so true. If you don't acknowledge something that's obvious, like right off the bat. And it also tells the audience that you're self-aware and that you're like, I know what's going on. And you're like, now we can move on to jokes. Yeah. I'm sure you've had it so many times where people come up to you after and they're like, listen, I have a joke for you. Have you ever seen Harry Potter? Yeah, and then you're just like, yeah, I do that joke. Right? They're like, oh yeah. You know?
Yeah, all the time. Like basically the jokes that I just told, like the puns I just told, this is probably stuff I heard from audience members who are like, well, what about like if you Hufflepuffed that pussy, dude? Like what if you said, I'm like, I'm not saying I'm gonna Hufflepuff pussy. It's like, dude, just say Hufflepuff pussy, dude. It's a good joke. Like,
Oh, I didn't know you weren't an artist.
And then I try it once at an open mic. I'm like, I fucking knew it. You don't say Hufflepuff pussy. You don't do that.
It's funny. It is. Yeah. Puns have to be good. I'll do puns and like stupid stuff sometimes. And when I hear like, nah, from the audience, I'm like, oh,
that's worse than silence.
Yeah. Nah. And I'm just like, God damn it, I can't do a pun anymore. Or I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I move on.
Yeah, you hear the note. Yeah. Someone do that. Like,
I did almost do a joke writing it out where instead of Hufflepuff, I want to puff that muff. Yeah. But, you know, it's 2022. Yeah. Women are shaving nowadays. Yeah. You know, it's really hard. You come across a muff, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a rare find.
It's
like a Horcrux.
Hey, bringing it back.
I know it.
Yeah, and it might be a problem, you know. It is, yeah. You come across a muff, you might take a picture of it just to remember the moment or something.
And then send it to the boys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just kidding.
And then you're over. And it's done. And you got to start doing Malfoy jokes for 10 years straight. That's that.
I love it. So you're originally from Texas.
Yeah, Houston.
Houston?
Yep.
Did you start doing comedy out there?
I do now. Like, I do get to go to Houston. I started in Austin, actually, because I lived in San Marcos, and I told myself, I hate myself thinking about it, because I told myself for years, like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go do open mics. Blah, blah, blah. It's like something I always had in the back of my mind. And then as soon as I moved to Austin knowing, like, I got my stupid business degree, and I moved to Austin knowing that the comedy scene
business degree is going to come in handy later on.
Yeah, hopefully
it'll come around. No, just in the sense of finance, knowing about business side of it. That's important.
True. That's true. No, I do value a lot of the business stuff. Like as much as I'm like anti-college and like, oh, I should have done comedy 10 years earlier. I do like produce some shows and like sell tickets and do things like that. And I'm like, I am remembering some of the business, some of the marketing, some of the salesy sides of things. I'm like, all right, that's pretty good. Yeah. Now I get to go tell my dick jokes. Yeah. Because I know how to sell tickets to get people to come see those jokes.
See, I'm older than you. I'm 34. And I started off doing creative stuff like music early, like 1920, and then getting into like filmmaking and everything. So I did all this stuff trying, because like I've always just loved doing like entertainment. And I've always like was circling doing stand-up. And then when I finally did stand-up, I was like, oh, this is the thing that everything locks in perfectly. Where I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I do think that sometimes where I'm just like, man, if I had started there, I would have been at 15 years. But I also wouldn't have all these other skill sets of being able to produce podcasts and videos. And I'll do like work music into it. I know how to produce music because of that. So it like, and just even going to college and getting your degree gives you a life experience that you can pull jokes from. Yeah. Sometimes I think some people are too focused on stand-up and they almost only do jokes about jokes almost. Like it's like you have to live life and experience stuff. But go on, you hated yourself.
Remember how you just didn't like the guy in the mirror?
I also love that you're using your wand for everything. You're so good with it. I'll pick mine back up.
It's natural. It's got a nice grip to it.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Halloween, baby. That's what she said. No, man. I guess I think like, oh man, if only I did comedy when I was 18 or right when I could get into the clubs.
Yeah.
But then you're right. I think about a lot of my jokes now, and a lot of them are like based around, you know, silly experiences in colleges or in college, and then just things I got myself into, or just like being ignorant and dumb and young, and then like translating that into real world jokes. And then I do have silly jokier jokes, and that's usually to, you know, loosen up the crowd earlier on.
So you were born in Houston.
I was born in Colorado, but I didn't live there long.
Oh, okay. Fuck that. You're a Texan at the end of the day.
Man, not really. Not really.
No, I think it's funny when people are from Texas. I have a joke about it where I say like Texans didn't do anything special to be born here.
Yeah.
You know, like they were in the womb picking them on the map where to be born. But I do love Texas. Like it's different out here.
It is. I heard you do that joke last night, and all the like older country people, they ate that shit up.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah. You know, I feel like most of them want to be like, we did pick to live here in the womb. Fucking fire off.
Yeah, dude. You do that joke in the wrong place. Yeah. That's why when you start doing shows outside of the city areas of Texas, you got to mind your P's and Q's, because they will be like, they don't play that shit.
Yeah.
I literally had someone say fuck Disneyland when I did that joke before. And I was just like, wow, you guys hate California.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is I went back and I did a show in California, and I opened up saying I now live in Texas, and they yelled fuck Texas. And I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
What is happening to this world? You know?
People are just, I guess, tribalistic. Like you're proud of where you are now. Like even if I moved to like Rhode Island tomorrow, I'd start wearing Rhode Island merch. You know what I mean? I'd integrate. I'd be like, yeah, this is where I'm here now. I'm doing the whole thing.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to stay in Texas?
I have no reason to leave. Like in terms of comedy, Austin's fucking sick.
Yeah.
There's opportunity. I mean, it is kind of hard to come by, but that just shows that every comic that's doing well probably really worked to be doing that well. And there's a lot of competition, so it's good. It forces me to write as much as possible and to just get up on stage as much as possible. Yeah.
It definitely, that's one thing I've noticed is that it is very competitive out here, but in a good sense. Like no one's trying to stop other people, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah. If you're on the right side of things, which I do think we are.
Yeah. You're Slytherin, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I just like shun those people where I'm like, I'm not even giving you energy. When I hear people talking and I'm like, I can't focus on that. Yeah. But my comedy definitely leveled up moving here. Yeah. Granted, I came out of the pandemic and it was like, I'd not done stand-up for that long. But it's just like you see the level of everything, even from people producing shows, podcast clips and everything. You're just like, oh yeah, you have to level up to even exist here. Yeah. And I think that's what is so dope about the community is like, not just like, oh, Joe Rogan's going to have a club and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But you're just going to get better. Like you're going to be forced to like grow if you want to exist in this scene. Or there's going to be, you know, and I think that was a weird thing that happened with like the old Austin community and the new. Yeah. Is that I think people were upset that they were like, oh, it's getting really competitive. Yeah. It's not the same anymore. And it's not safe, you know, anymore.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know that many like old Austin people, but yeah, that's my theory is that like people who didn't have the opportunity to get on stage in LA, New York, whatever, because of the pandemic, they're like, fuck it. I'm going to move to Austin. It seems pretty lawless there. I want to keep doing comedy. Yeah. And so there's good comics coming here, which makes more competition. So, you know, the 20, 30 people who are like, slicking by doing shows for the past 5+ years, they're like, oh shit, these guys are good. These are guys who get up on stage 3 times a night, every night. Yeah. And they couldn't. So now they're here where they can. Yeah.
You started in Austin?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Where was the first place you went up?
Romo Room.
Oh shit! Shout out to the Romo Room.
Shout out Romo.
R.I.P. That was the first place I actually went up in Austin. Yeah. Yeah, because it was easy, slotted, and you could just
great system.
Yeah. I liked it. I know someone went down there and they like stopped doing shows. I don't know the drama.
Yeah, I think it's just because they were like such a middleman because the brew house or whatever that they were in was like, we can let you kind of lease this out. So there's just too much middleman stuff, which I guess kind of is what a comedy club is. You're just middlemaning the acts. I don't know.
Yeah. Crazy system.
All I know is I couldn't sign up on Slotted anymore and I had to do mics and shows elsewhere. So whatever.
Yeah.
RP.
Did you ever produce a show there, or you're just on shows there?
Me and Matt, the show we have now, we were actually
shout out to Matty Addy.
Yeah, shout out Matty Stew. We were gonna produce one. We had it lined up. It was gonna be called Fire and Ice. It's stupid because he's ginger looking and ice. I don't know. But it just never fell through, and that's right when things were like falling down. And then it took us a while to send out a bunch of emails.
I would have loved to see that poster of you guys. I'm picturing a kind of...
Bro, I have it right. I still have it. Yeah, my buddy Dan Johnston made it.
See, I'm picturing like a Twilight version of Game of Thrones, shirtless, ice and fire. You guys are cuddling in the middle of a jacuzzi surrounded by ice. I don't know.
You're damn near describing the poster. I'm going to be so mad if I take all this time. All right, there's so many renditions. Look.
Oh man, okay.
I think this is the one we went with.
That's a little bit of okay, in the octagon with Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory.
I love it.
He's fire, I'm ice.
That's hilarious. Okay. But you guys
get that.
Yeah, we can put that on there.
Maybe.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I always say that, and I'm like, I don't want to do the extra production work.
That's a lot of work. But yeah, the Roma Room was good to me. I was able to go up so much, and I feel like that's how I was able to get pretty good quick, like to where I was like comfortable doing 10 minutes on shows. Just I got 10 minutes. Cool.
Yeah. So do you write? Do you sit down and write, or are you okay? How do you do it? What's your process? Like, it's a regular Monday. Do you have a schedule, or are you like, I would just sit down and I'll write?
I feel like I find my best stuff after I hit mics and kind of threw shit on the wall, and then I'll try to record most sets, especially if I know the audience is like going to be a decent audience, even if it's a show or like a not as important show. And I'll listen back and I'll see where maybe I got some laughs based on what I thought would work. And then usually that's when I think of some of my best tags. I'm like, oh shit, I could have kept building here, here, and here.
Yeah.
So I just kind of study what I already said off of a like very basic idea, and then just go from there after hearing myself.
Do you write on a computer or notepad?
Very rarely on a computer. A lot of times I just do notes on my phone, but I do have like a journal where I like hard write everything out because I feel like it helps me like...
Oh, the memorization.
Yeah. And if I'm writing a bit or whatever, I like to just be able to instantly scratch it out, say this is stupid, boom, boom, move things around, arrows, which I feel like I can't do as quickly on a computer. So.
Okay. Have you had a terrible bombing?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
What's your worst bombing?
My worst bombing?
Have you had anything that's kept you up at night?
Anything that's kept me up at night? Probably. I did a show, and I think it was technically an open mic. It was literally before
Did you sign up for this show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was like, it was 10-minute mic or whatever, and this is 3 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was in here. I was like, everyone was just leaving. It's probably midnight. The show had been going for 2+ hours.
Oh, man.
So people weren't about it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to work on my opener and my closer. So I just kind of squeezed them together for one set. And I don't know why I was so like, I saw the audience and I was like, all right, I'll fuck with them a little bit. It was like 3, maybe 6 people total. And I get up and there's just these 2 girls nonstop laughing at each other, talking. Oh. And I address it. I'm like, no, share what's so funny. Like, it's, you know what I mean? At this point, I've thrown away my set. I'm like, I'm not getting anything from this. Man. Like, I'm just gonna. And I got kind of bitter, and they're like, oh, you don't like us laughing at your jokes? And then the other audience, these guys, everyone's hammered. Other people are like, yeah, you don't like it when people laugh at your jokes. I'm like, I love it when people laugh at my jokes. I don't love it when people laugh at each other's jokes. But it's just like 2 girls literally like tickling each other. And like I asked if they were a couple, and it turned into a whole thing where her fiance was sitting on the other side of the row, and he was like kind of mad at them. So they're like having an argument while this couple is like laughing at her. And I'm just like, fuck, man, I should have gone back to Austin one day earlier. you know? Man. I'm like, why am I doing this? That might just be like a recency thing, though. I've had.
Yeah. That's not as much your fault, though. It's just, there's bad crowds. And when things happen in their crowd, it sucks.
A bomb's a bomb, though. I didn't get what I wanted out of that at all. I ate shit for sure. Bomb. A lot of Roma room bombs.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? Do you have like a bomb that sticks in your head where you're like,
I mean,
fuck, why did I think I could do this?
I had, early on. So like the first time I did stand up, I probably prepared the 5 minutes for a month.
Oh, wow.
And like, I just rehearsed it. I got it. Shout out to my fiance. She's a saint. I made her listen to it so many times. Cool. And she was just like, yeah, you got it. And then I finally went up and did it. And I was so nervous. But the set went well. I literally just remember it like pictures, like where I was so like, oh shit, that it was like that's my memory of being on stage during it. But I remember getting laughs and everything. Like the producer was like, oh, that was your first time? Come back, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, cool, I did good. Went up again at another place, did good, the same 5 minutes. And then I went up at another place, I did good. And off of that, this producer was like, hey, come do this show that I have. It's a 10-minute spot, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. And I think I'm fucking Dave Chappelle at that point. It's going to be my 4th time doing comedy and I'm doing 10 minutes on a show. I'm like, oh, this shit's not that hard. Buy open mics,
like, I'm clever.
I just got it like that. So then I come up with this whole idea, like this bit idea. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I got this. And it was the first time I was doing it on stage, an entire, I think it was going to be 6 minutes of the 10 minutes was this new bit I've never done. Nice. Which is insane to just do 6 new minutes on your first show. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's so
you kind of had to though, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, I got to fill this much time.
But it was, how there's like bits like that they're short enough that you can move on.
Yeah.
And I remember this at my second open mic that this guy went, oh, new material's not working tonight. I'll go back to the old stuff. And I remember thinking at that moment, I don't even have old stuff.
Yeah.
I have nothing to fall back on if I start bombing.
Yeah.
Because like you like develop tricks of even saying a one-liner thing that like gets people back. You'd be like, you acknowledge this is not going well. And then you go back to a new joke. I had none of that. I was just a fucking baby deer out on the ice hoping it didn't crack.
Yeah.
And I go to this show. For some reason, my stomach is killing me. I like just had like some weird mild food poisoning going there.
Yeah. Probably the nerves too.
It could have easily been that. But here's the fucked up part. I wasn't that nervous because all I had experienced was this going well for me. Yeah. So I thought, who are these people that are going to get this treat tonight when I walk through the door? Love me. Dude. I'm like calling Hollywood agents and everything. No. And then so I show up and these 2 guys come in, and this was when I was in Ventura, and it's this like beach town in California. And these 2 guys came in from LA to do the show. One goes up, does 15 minutes. The other guy goes up, and I don't know if they went before me because they had to leave or something like that. Like why they went before me makes no sense. This guy does like 10, 15 minutes, fucking kills it. He literally reminded me. I remember texting my friend going, this guy reminds me of like a young Dave Chappelle.
Oh, wow.
He had the same cadence, killing off just kind of talking. And it was just everything, the bits, everything, like looking back, they were just all worked out. It was show material. And someone who probably features on the road. He wasn't just, a local comic. And then the next guy goes up and is just murdering for like 20 minutes, doing crowd work, everything. And there's not a lot of people in there. So it was like he was doing so good. And it was like a bar show, which is like, if people don't know, you have to have their attention. Like you're competing with drinking, small talk, a TV, bartender shaking shit. There's people, and it's like, and he's killing. And I'm just like going over my stuff. And I don't know how bad this could possibly go. And I'm just like, all right, well, here we go. I'm going to go up. So I do like my opening stuff. It goes okay. And like, I get a couple laughs right off the gate. And I improvised talking about them because they were like still there at the bar. Sure. And that got laughs. And then only like 2 minutes in, I go into this new material because I like blanked kind of on my other material because I improvised and I couldn't get back to the old stuff. That's the other fucked up part is when you're so crisscross applesauce in your bit and the grooves. certain lines in it set up the next line.
Yeah.
And you need those connections to know what's next.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, all right, well, we're going to that new shit right now.
Yeah.
I go into this long bit that the punchline and payoff is only really at the end.
Yeah.
It was it's a funny video I ended up putting out, but
nice.
it's about I didn't put out the bombing video.
Yeah.
I put out in story mode this video, and it was called The History of Man. And the whole idea is that throughout history, the reason why men have traveled and explored the world, at the end of the day, it was because of new pussy.
Yeah.
Like you go to a place, this chick cuts her or shaves her vagina into like an arrowhead and all this like crazy thing. That's why men go to war and like leave their wives at home and everything, because they're like, I gotta find the new world. And then it wasn't funny at the time. There was not that many tags. And I just watch everybody just start staring at me.
Yeah.
And I'm going, and I can see the host who put me on the show realizing that I'm terrible. And when you're making that connection with them, that you're like, you can see him going, I made a mistake right now. It was terrible. And then I'm watching the other comics that just did amazing feel uncomfortable and cringing at how bad I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm watching all this happen, and it's making it so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to sweat like in areas of my body I've never sweat before. Like I'm getting cheek sweats, and I'm just like, shit got hot as fucking here.
Felt like you were wearing a scarf up there.
Yeah, dude. Literally. And I bombed the entire time, and then I end and I'm like, all right, guys, thank you. Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, that's tough. Because usually they're like, oh,
no, they were not forgiving. They were not forgiving. And the host, he like walked up like this, a couple of these, and then he was like, all right, we're gonna bring up the next. And I'm just like, I ended up, I couldn't even say bye to the other comedians. I like went up to him and was like, all right, man. And I left, and I laid in bed for probably about 4 hours that night.
Damn.
It was already like 1 a.m. I remember just laying there staring at the ceiling, and I was like, I never want that feeling to happen again.
Yeah.
It's happened again, but never that bad.
Yeah.
And for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I'll end this. This turned into an Ev talk. Those bombs were like the best thing that happened, because it makes you be like, I never want that shit to happen again.
Yeah.
So I need to like, do more.
Yeah. I think that's what makes the difference between like a real comedian and someone who's just like doing this for fun. Because a normal person, that would happen to them and they'd be like, I'm going back to working on Excel.
Oh, man.
I'm going to go sit in an office.
Yeah.
That was a bad experience. And I like the first time I bombed was at Roma Room, and I had the same experience where like I did 2 pretty good sets. I'm like, oh, wow, I got to figure it out. I broke the jokes down. Then I told them, people liked them. And then I go home and I feel awesome. But the third time I did the same exact stuff that I like wrote down. I thought I even added some stuff. And I think the host that brought me up at the time was like, oh, and you might have seen him from Team Slytherin, blah, 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 blah. And at the time that bothered, I'm like, and I like tried to come up with something clever to say to the host. And I dug myself a hole, and then I was just lost on stage. And it was a really like, it was a true bomb, because there was people there that were definitely like going to give me the benefit of the doubt if I had good shit, or if I was confident in my delivery, or if I was, even apologetic to fucking with the host, whatever. So I remember just sitting in my car, and like for a split second, I'm like, I fooled myself for 2 whole sets. And then I think I listened to the recording or something. And I'm like, oh, this is fixable. This is fucking fixable. Yeah. This was so stupid. It's so fixable. And you know what? That's probably gonna happen again. I think I called a buddy of mine or something, and he's like, yeah, dude, that's gonna happen. It happens all the time.
It definitely happens. I think within the first 5 sets, I feel like that story happens to everybody.
Yep.
Because it does seem like everybody, I mean, some people bomb their first time, and then it sets them on the ground from the beginning. And then some people do really good the first time, and then that bomb comes a little bit later. And I feel like it makes it harder, because you kind of raise up a little bit, and you're in that fucking hot air balloon, and then it's like, and you go sea level with it.
Yeah, you're like back to reality with it.
Yeah, and then you're like, I guess I have to call my family and tell them that I'll speak to them again.
I'll see you at Thanksgiving.
I guess I can't trade my fucking pound dog in for a purebred anymore,
Shit.
Yeah, I think about that. And that's what I love about stand-up, And what you kind of realize is, because I've seen a lot of headliners and people perform, in a weird way, it makes me happy when you hear about them and see them not do well with a new joke.
Oh, 100%.
Because you're like, oh, it's all like this. Like, it's all fixable. This is just the process.
Yeah.
And it's a motherfucker, but I love it. You know?
Yeah, same.
Is there anything else you would want to do besides stand up, or you're like, once you start it, you're like, nah, this is it?
I just like the entertainment side of things. Like, and I didn't even know that before doing stand up. But when I was younger, me and my friends would make silly like sketch videos. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And, you know, obviously we weren't making any money from it. But like, if I could find a way to like if stand up just, I don't know, if I got canceled from speaking into a microphone like legitimately, I would definitely try and do videos or something. Sketch writing, because it is funny just like being able to create the humor. Even when I like help, you know, friends with tags or stuff like that, and I hear people use things that I knew were funny and it works, I'm like, oh sweet, I'm a good comic, I got a clever delivery process, whatever. I do have a degree in business, so I guess I could just use that.
Oh hell yeah.
But whatever. No.
But you can also make that work for you.
That's
and I'm like you were saying about producing shows and everything.
Yeah, I definitely make it work for me. And I mean, I have a real 9-to-5
you do?
Remote job.
Oh, remote?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's really perfect. And
what do you do for work? You don't have to give away where you work.
Yeah, it's just cybersecurity sales, like very entry level sales.
Oh, okay.
And they know I do the stand up pretty much as full time as I do the other gigs, so they're very cool with that. And I mean, the goal eventually is to where like the profits equalize. I'm like, I'm gonna live like a shithead, but I'm gonna be doing only comedy, like no matter what, only comedy. Fucking hitting the road, whatever it takes. And they know that too, so that's what's cool. They're like, fucking hang out.
That's amazing.
Keep working with us. Just keep making sales or whatever the thing. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're in sales?
Yeah.
Do you cold call or are you an email?
Cold call, cold emails. My gig, you know, my like day job gig is I'm literally just like trying to convince people to book a meeting with like a better sales guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, hey, this guy, he's a real salesman. Talk to him. He knows all the things. And I'm just like, please. Like I call myself front door guy because I'm like, please come in. And my job is just to book like an intro call. And I get paid off of if those calls go good. I have a regular pay too, but like I get my extra OTE pay or whatever.
That's dope.
It's pretty good. It's good. And sometimes I get upset with myself that I like comedy so much and that's what I see myself doing long term. Because I'm like, man, I could have, if I wanted to, I could have been some, you know, sales exec guy by now. You know, team lead, whatever. But I'm like, nah, I don't. It just doesn't get me fired up. I don't, you know what I mean?
I call those golden handcuffs. Like where you go into a career. Cause I mean, so I went to nursing school and got a bachelor's in nursing. And when I graduated, I was like, I'm not fucking doing nursing. I can't. And I started doing music for years and got into video production. And it was the same thing when you're in like your early 20s, mid 20s, and all those friends that, you know, graduated college and have these great jobs and then they're buying houses and they're doing all this life shit. It's so like, you feel like shit. Like when you're in a struggle city of like building something, I always look at it of like different chapters of your life. So there's like the point where no one else can see your vision. So they just think it's stupid. They're like, you're trying to do what? But you know where you want it to go. And then there's like the second chapter where it's like, oh, you're starting to book stuff. You're starting to things. And then there's like, oh, okay, he does that too. And then like, there's the next chapter where you're like, it's becoming successful. And you're like, oh, wow, you're getting to do that. And you can make your own career. So it's like those, I always think there's like such a payoff of that. Cause it's like people who go into the career, which is fine. People are passionate about their jobs.
I'm jealous of those people. To be quite honest.
Dude, I wish I could just, I had this dude come who works for KB Homes, which is like our neighborhood. I'm familiar. The dude lived such a simple life. Great job. You know, he makes money. All he does is walk around talking to people about their home warranties. And he helps you. And he's like the most even guy. And he's just like, yeah, you know, we have 2 kids and we live over here. And, you know, I'll give you some tips about your lawn and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I wish I could just be satisfied because he was so happy with his life. of just the regular life. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just some broken thing in me where I'm like, I need this and I want this. But yeah. But I'm sure in some ways he's looking on the other side of times. Yeah,
it's always, there's always two sides to something like that.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I often think things like that. I'm like, oh man, he has a schedule laid out. He knows exactly what he's doing during the week. Probably hitting the water on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, has a safe amount of money because he works a secure job. Yeah. It's like also like, but does he get to make 300 people laugh at once? And then go laugh about it with their friends? I'm like, probably not. Yeah. So it's like,
I do think comedy, it might be, if you like have a healthy ego and like look at it like with, you know, realistic views, it might be the best job there is. Yeah. Yeah. The coolest job, and just, I don't know, it satisfies like everything a person should need. I mean, it probably satisfies more than that with like the amount of attention you get, which is, you know, but you get applauded for your work and you get like so much problem solving. Like I love that aspect of it, is figuring out bits, like making edits and like finding where the funny is. That side of it is super rewarding for me in a weird monkey way of like your lizard brain getting like in its dopamine hits.
Like the task is to get everyone to laugh as much as possible. Yeah. Boom, 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 build something. You know, it's the same thing. You know, the dude who's building homes, he's task. Damn, reach the goal. So yeah, you're right. If you're like not egotistical about it, or just like, I don't know, I can see how people get in their heads. Yeah. I love the comics who are like, don't play the, I'm a depression, anxiety. You know what I mean? Like, no, I want to make people laugh. I want to work hard to do that. It kind of sucks sometimes. Yeah. But this is a good job. Like, who else gets to do this?
Yeah. And I feel like, at least right now, comedians are in such a good tribe. Yeah. Of like working together. Like it sounds terrible, the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s, when everything was super competitive for sitcoms and everything like that. That sounds miserable. Yeah. To be hanging out with someone, but you secretly want them to do bad. Yeah. Like, that would just, I don't know, that would make you paranoid. You would not feel like, I love seeing people do well on shows. Yeah. I would hate to be like, he just got a big laugh. Yeah. Like that's not really in me. But it's that was like almost like the nature of the beast back then. Yeah. It's like, how can I be better than that person? Yeah. Now it's like, how can I be as good as that person? Yeah. Or how can we, you know what I mean? Because I feel like there's enough of the pie for everyone to eat. And it's like cross-pollination all the time of you just get better by being around people who are good. There are definitely people who are bad, like have that old mindset. Like, okay, so you started in Austin. Okay, so like, this is what I also like, is it seems like the Austin community has great gatekeepers who aren't really gatekeepers. Yeah. Like I think the scene that's being established is, I mean, obviously there's Joe Rogan. I don't know if you've heard of him, but it's going to be healthy for all the comedians. But if you go in like a smaller town, smaller market, there's like bigger fish comedians who aren't good to the newer comedians. Yeah. And I dealt with that in like where I first started. Everybody, 99% was cool, but there was like bigger comedians who were so fucking shitty to the newer comedians. They talking shit and just complete gatekeepers, like being shitty guys to girls and like trying to use that to their, you know, advancement. And then, I had some, like early on, I had a comedian say something to me that like pissed me off for months. Just like, you know, cause I do video production and everything. It was like, you don't want to stay and take pictures of me? Well, see if I ever put you on one of my shows. And I was just like, you fucking piece of shit. That's the worst. And at the time, he did have so much power over the scene. Yeah, it's where it's like, he booked everything, all the different places. And I literally was just like, this sucks to feel like you're in a scene that it's almost like a lot like what Hollywood was with like these creepy guys who were just like Me Tooing women. Yeah. It's like, I have something, you want it. What are you going to do for it? Yeah. Or I'm going to talk to you like this because I know And it doesn't seem like Austin has much of that.
Every now and then I'll get like people who are like, hey, let me do your show. You've done mine. These, people before, people that didn't even know I had a show. And then they see I have a show. They're like, hey, man, I helped you out. I'm like, oh, man, I thought you booked me because I was funny. Not because I have something you want. Obviously, if I think, you know what I mean? I'm going to book people that are fucking, that I think are going to crush.
Yeah.
That I think are probably going to do better than me.
Honestly, yeah.
And there's not much of that. Like, I should have prefaced it. There's not much of that. But like on the small amount of times I do see that, I'm like, shit. Yeah, that is very alive in this business. Because at the end of the day, this is entertainment. It is entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. That side of it is gross. I've experienced that. And it is, I try to never be like that or ever, like, it's just a bad mindset to go into things doing something for someone else for a reason other than you're just doing that, you know, because it like builds resentment.
Yeah, ulterior motives.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And it's gross when you realize it happened to you.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had people help me with something and then they're like, hey, so can you do that? Because I did that. I'm like, that's why you fucking did it. Yeah. You know? Like when a girl, like when you're dressed as Draco and you're just like, oh, you did it because I'm dressed like Draco? Yeah. What about Joe?
Yeah, as soon as I take off the scarf, she's like, what the fuck? You're just a little Aryan boy? Are you shitting me? This is bullshit.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Like she couldn't realize it's like the whole Clark Kent with the glasses, like taking off. They're like, oh shit, it's Superman. And then you put the thing on, they're like, Draco? You're like, no, Joe. What are you doing here, Joe? That's hilarious.
I like to think there's at least one girl out there who's like, I fucking hate wizards. I hate Draco Malfoy. They're watching this, they see this, and then they see me, on another podcast and I'm, wearing my normal day-to-day life stuff, and they're like, I fucking like that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that wizard, dude.
Yeah.
That guy sucked then, but man, that Joe McNamara guy. Decent. I'll take decent. I'll take a pretty decent. Good jokes,
hilarious. Decent. Your hood is pointy. Speaking of Aryan and everything, dude, you put that hood on.
And it doesn't make it any better that it's not white.
Yeah, no, that looks just like it doesn't just look
clip
good.
This and I'm out, dude.
That hood is way too pointy, bro.
Whoever made this is definitely, they got some giggles.
It's like they repurposed these
material.
Yeah, it's like they repurposed these. They were white originally, and they're like, hey, just make them black and sell them on Amazon. I mean,
as horrible as it is, I'm pretty sure the Slytherin. I should know more about Harry Potter, but I know Slytherin. I mean, is what they're like pureblood. So like,
right.
This is low-key a racist outfit. Yeah, my bad.
They are the Aryan nation.
Yeah, they are the Aryans.
Of the wizard.
And people love them.
They're the Grand Wizards.
Yeah, they are literally the Grand Wizards.
That's crazy.
They are the fucking David Dukes of the Hogwarts world.
So why didn't you get into Harry Potter? You just never around it, or you never around it, like it was drugs or something?
No. You never just took a hit of Harry Potter? I don't, like, I know, you know what I mean? Like, I know all this stuff, but I don't know. I was more into like Star Wars.
Oh, hell yeah.
I kind of wish I looked like Luke Skywalker or something. I would do Luke Skywalker jokes all day.
Yeah. So you are into sci-fi?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah. I'm not a big Harry. I know Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Also, a lot of people like Harry Potter, like Lord of the Rings.
I'm in the Lord of the Rings. That's my top one.
I want to watch the new prequels or whatever.
They're good. As someone who's a Lord of the Rings snob, they are good.
You're a snob for Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. I just really like them. I watch the extended editions usually once a year. Yeah. I go through and watch them all.
It's like 3+ hours each film, right?
4.
4?
I love it. Some of them are like 3:42. Yeah. I'm not counting at all.
Yeah, 3:42, a couple seconds to spare. Yeah. Credits are nice.
I read the books. I'm currently reading The Return of the King again right now. That's what I do to fall asleep. Because if I usually need something to fall asleep, watching something, and I've traded it for reading a Kindle, which is way healthier.
Yeah, I often can't fall asleep because it's like, what do they say? The blue light from the screens tricks your mind into thinking like, nah, we can still do things.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing some stuff.
Another season of Breaking Bad, why not?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you need anything to fall asleep, or are you a person who just hits the pillow and you close your eyes?
Sometimes just hit the pillow, and others, like sometimes I'll take melatonin. Yeah. I used to smoke pot, but like that, I just get so paranoid.
Really?
When I smoke weed usually, yeah. All it takes is like I'll smoke pot for like a select amount of time, and then I'll have one bad panic attack. And then it'll fuck it up, and I'll be like, fuck. And then probably 3 months from now, I'll be like, yeah, I'll take a little hit. And I'll be like, oh yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
And then it's just randomly, like one day, like my anxiety sets in with that. Because usually it would just help me fall asleep. But I don't know.
What kind of anxiety you get, like when you get a panic attack from weed?
Dude,
because I've experienced them as well.
So the last time I got an anxiety attack from weed was like, I was in Washington and I had to get my brother. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking, because we smoked together. It's legal there, whatever. So we got good shit.
Best shit.
Yeah.
Scary what's happening with marijuana.
Dude, I took one bong rip outside and then I felt fine. Like I could tell, you know, like I was getting a little heavier, you know, kind of got a little sweaty. And I went upstairs. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to bed. I got too high. And I'm laying there and I just kind of feel like I'm like falling through my bed. I'm like, oh shit. And then that scares me. So then I'm getting anxious and my heart's beating. I'm like sweating. And I like feel short of breath. And I'm like, dude, Andrew, my brother, I like, hey man, I'm fucking feel my heartbeat. Fucking, He's like, yeah, your heart's beating fast. It's because you're having a panic attack. I'm like, oh man. Oh, and then I'm like, I gotta get on an airplane tomorrow. I fucking hate airplanes. Oh my God. And I was just thinking about every little thing all at once.
Oh, man. So it was like overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah. Which, I don't know. I'm already an anxious dude. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should stay away from weed.
So what, did you eventually just calm down? And you were able to work through it?
Freaked myself out into a sleep.
Yeah, dude.
And I woke up, I'm like, I should have been able to calm myself down. How could I not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that definitely happened to me. I've had that happen a few times with weed. One time I stopped smoking. Like I don't really smoke that much anymore.
Yeah.
I stopped for like a year because I just had the most insane panic attack. I took a hit and it was this shit called, ironically, Luke Skywalker OG. Nice. It was great stuff. That shit smelled like fucking rotten cheese. So powerful. Shout out to California. You know? They build it in labs now. It's not safe. It's like this shit has hairs all over it and the rainbow is too much. But I hit it and instantly like impending doom. Yeah. Just tunnel vision of like, oh, something bad's happening. And I was like, oh, chest gets tight. When your fucking chest gets tight, you're just like,
oh, feeling.
And then I would get like, my stomach would get weird and you would like get like almost like anxiety burps where you're just like, you feel like you have to burp, but you can't. Yeah. And your throat gets tight. And I'm just like, and I remember laying there and then you can literally, your heart is racing so bad, you can feel your body like moving with it. And I remember laying in bed for like an hour and a half trying to stop myself from having a panic attack. And I was just like, dude, you're fine. Because you just think, oh, I'm going to be the first person who dies from this. Yeah. Oh, it was an underlying issue that I didn't catch until now. Yeah. And then it fades away into probably the least refreshing sleep you've ever had.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I guess this is me falling asleep.
Yeah.
And you wake up, you're like, what the? It feels like a fever dream you had. Or
yeah.
It's the worst.
And then the whole next day, you're almost in a fog of just like thinking about it. And then it's like, I would have like after a panic attack like that, it would almost be like little like shock waves. Like every now, like you'd be so on edge the next day where you're like, shit, a panic attack could be triggered by, you know, especially flying on a plane the next day.
Yeah, I was just on the plane like, oh, fuck. This is what I was worried about.
You don't like planes?
I like planes. I actually genuinely enjoy getting in the plane. I'm always the dude who's like looking out the window. I'm like, that's the city I live in. Yeah. And then, you know, I'm like, that's the city I'm going to. And I'm like, I usually like it. Yeah. It's because it's like a silly thing. I do it enough to where it's like, now it's kind of just like, fuck, I gotta go. I gotta go travel. It's just traveling now.
Yeah. Now, when I had a bad anxiety, I hated flying. I was on a plane and one of the engines, something happened with it. Ooh. And we spent and I had a pilot to the side of me and a pilot behind me. And they were talking about what was happening. Because you know sometimes on flights, they have pilots that can go on, like just they can catch a ride somewhere else.
Yeah, because they have a job.
So they were talking about it. And we spent the last 2 hours of the flight going, wow. Which apparently is safe, but it doesn't feel like that when you have two pilots talking about it. And that was when I went to school in Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
And that was going back for summer. And I spent the whole summer thinking about that moment. And I was like, I got to fucking fly back. Yeah. In a couple months. Yeah. You know? And I just thought about that. But then I remember Googling how safe planes are.
Yeah.
It's almost crazy when a plane crashes.
Yeah, it's like a lightning strike or something. It's just it doesn't happen.
Like compared to car crashes, any other death, like that's like you have a better chance of getting killed by a cow.
Yeah, that's true.
Than a plane.
Yeah.
So that got me over that.
I mean, if there was like hundreds of planes behind each other in the air, then it'd be as dangerous as driving. But when everybody's got their own altitude.
And the pilot, it wasn't like autopilot and they were just texting and were just like this.
Yeah.
On a fucking plane. That's the craziest shit. Texas has got a little wild with driving.
Yeah.
You look over and people are just like this. Just fucking. I'm like,
anytime you're at a stoplight, for sure.
That's why I enjoy driving a truck, even though the gas mileage is insane, is because I'm like, I don't feel like I'm going to get hit by someone and just like, you know, because there's a lot of trucks out here.
Yeah.
And they are not paying attention. I'd rather be in, you know, my gas guzzler than a Corolla.
I'm in a Corolla. Pulled up here on a little Corolla.
Oh, my bad, man. No.
I was right. The worst, I'm more right in my Harry Potter puns the whole way here. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Almost hit F-150, fucking asshole. I was fucking gas guzzling mother.
What was I gonna ask you? It was something. Oh, you speak fluent Spanish.
Puedo hablar un poco.
Where did this come from?
Nearly.
I heard you on stage at Revival, and this motherfucker, I thought I was hallucinating, was speaking beautiful Spanish to the crowd.
Well, I can say this sentence for the bit perfectly because I've done the bit many times.
Yeah.
But when I grew up, my best friend, shout out Chris Penso.
Shout out Chris.
He, Venezuelan dude, lived right down the street from me. I was always at their house because their house was awesome. They at one point they had a half pipe in their backyard.
Shit.
I skateboarded. And then I love the Venezuelan cuisine, like arepas.
Oh, yeah.
Empanadas.
Yeah.
Oh, just all that shit. Like the soup, the sopas, the soups they did.
Yeah, man.
Like I think they literally had something called sopa queso, which is cheese soup.
Yeah.
And it was the shit. I was like,
amazing.
holy shit, they're doing sopa queso tonight. I'll be there.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where my friend Chris and his brother, they had to speak Spanish under that roof. Because they were born in Venezuela. Their parents wanted to preserve the language.
Right.
And after a while, after so long of me being there, they're like, yo, dude, tienes que hablar un poco español. I'm like, all right, I'll speak a little Spanish. And just over time, I like kind of got connected with it because I was always over there. His grandparents also lived right next to me, and they only spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
So I would help them with like yard work and like little things. So I would have to speak broken, little niño white boy Spanish.
Yeah.
And then it got better because in high school, or maybe it was junior high at the time, I just took the entry level Spanish courses because it was like, easy A. And it kind of like helped me realize why I know the words I know. Like I guess it'd be like taking an English grammar class. I'm like, oh shit, that's why I say it that way.
Like the conjugation and everything.
Yeah, like conjugating verbs and I don't know.
Dude, it's so dope because, I mean, I'm half Puerto Rican. I grew up eating just Puerto Rican food and everything. And I had friends who were Ecuadorian. Shout out the Rodriguezes. But I would go over there almost every day after school in high school. And the same thing. The mom would always have food for us.
Yeah.
The grandparents were always there. Little abuela and abuelito, And they were like, the culture is so sweet. Everything's kisses on the cheek. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. Sopa, arroz con habichuelas, like literally everything, the greatest food ever. Like when you walk into like a Spanish home and you can just smell the food, you're like, this shit's gonna be fire. You hear some Spanish music in the back.
Yeah.
It's the best, man. Especially, I don't know if you ever spent New Year's with them or anything.
Yep.
But like,
for sure.
Dude,
many
family parties, there's fucking 3-year-olds passed out on the floor.
Yeah.
There's like 20 people doing, dancing and everything.
Yep.
It's the greatest culture ever. And you like Spanish, Yeah,
I remember I would go over there for like New Year's parties and stuff. And his parents would talk to me like, hey, there might be a couple Coronas. There might be. And I'm like, holy shit, I get to drink Coronas tonight.
That's so
I'm
dope.
like, I don't have my driver's license, but I got a fucking Lime-A-Rita.
I'm
like, these guys party. These guys care about the youth.
Dude, yeah.
And the family thing is super cool. Because like, I don't have that much family here. So it was just like, I was like the, you know what I mean? I was like the token white kid with a bunch of Hispanic people. Like, they love it because, I'm caring enough try, not assimilate wouldn't be the right word, but to try
appropriate.
To appropriate those fucking no, just to try and like respect their language and everything, because you know what I mean. Like it meant a lot to me to be able to interact with them in the way they interact with each other. So like for most of the older relatives and people who are visiting, they're like, "Fucking get a kick of this kid, hell yeah, pass him a limerita, let this whatever he wants." So that was cool.
That's beautiful. That's what is beautiful about. Like whenever people say like appropriation or anything, I was looking at it, and this is super corny, but like appreciation of that culture. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that's missing is when everybody's getting so divided and like, oh, you can't do this because that's their culture and blah, blah, blah. Like I think everything just mix and just experience everybody else's culture. Because you get great things out of it. Yeah, you know,
for sure.
Food and just lifestyle. Like I'm sure you were taught a lot about family structure from like being with them, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is how you treat the grandparents and all that kind of stuff is great.
Yeah, I feel like I had, just like being around them, I feel like I had more respect for my family. And then I would go home and be like, oh, this is what the Pensos do. They do this, this, and this. My mom was like, no shit, really? And then I even like, it got to the point where my mom was like jealous of like the fun times I was having over there. You know, it's not like I had a broken home or anything, but I'm like, oh. You know, there was points where my mom would like try to make arepas because I was like excited, and I'm like, well, you got to buy this corn stuff from the store. Yeah. And I was just like telling her little traditions. And then, you know, they'd come over to our house and we'd like put mayonnaise on sandwiches. And, and we taught them all that, and it was great.
Did they like the mayo?
Yeah, for sure. That's the funny thing though. Like when I think of all they had to offer as like a culture, like I can't think of a single thing when they came to our house and we're like, well, we got. You know what I mean? Because they got arepas, they got La Familia, they got all the parties and the traditions, and they never really came to our house, and we were like, oh, man, like mayonnaise is the best example I can think of. Wow. They got mayonnaise.
They're all, is that Wonder Bread?
Yeah.
Okay, bueno.
Yeah, Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread mayo.
Does your family have any traditional food where you're just like, where's your family? Is it actually from Germany? Are you Aryan, or is it like, is it really?
My dad's
You're Hitler's dream. You're what he wanted.
Yeah, I'm textbook Hitler youth, dude.
Damn.
No, my dad's side is like mostly German. My grandfather was adopted, so like my last name is supposed to be Irish, but doesn't mean any of it.
Okay.
But yeah, most of my dad's side is German. Then my mom's family is very like broken up. But there's actually like quite a bit of Jewish. They weren't practicing. So, and my mom's mom was like very apparently Native American. Oh. And my mom, it was one of those things where she didn't go to college until way later in life, and she's like, "Damn, I could have got what's the rule? The 1/8 or the 1/16?
Yeah, she
totally
got
qualified for it.
Some payments. Dog.
Yeah. Because
you could wear some feathers, man.
I'm ready to appropriate,
dude. I could see you out there
feathers and arepas, dude. That's fine.
I could see you with some moccasins.
Oh yeah,
you got the feet for it.
Yeah,
you know, some people rocking Crocs.
Oh yeah,
man. Does your family have like a food that you guys make? Where you're like, this is our thing. We take this white stuff and we put it on bread.
Yeah.
We fold it in half.
Make our own mayonnaise. When I was younger, my dad would make like spaghetti that would take like a day and a half because his grandpop did that, and that's like they were like German, but I get like they were all East Coast guys. Like I hear stories and it sounds like very mafioso. Yeah, like, everybody had a cigar in the house. Everyone came over for clams and crab, and everyone, you know what I mean. Yeah. So my dad would make this special spaghetti that just the sauce took forever to make because it was homemade or whatever, and like veal and beef balls. Oh, yeah.
Dude, whenever you hear food takes more than a day, you're like, that shit is fire.
Yeah.
You know? Nothing ever takes longer than a day that you're like, that was all right.
Yeah. I think that's why brisket is so good, because it's just getting soaked up for a day.
Oh, dude, there's some places out here that do some wild shit with brisket where they cook it like halfway, like they get it to a certain internal temperature.
Yeah.
Then they put it in an ice chest for like 4 days, and it sits in there. And then they take it out again, and then they smoke it. Like it's an insane thing where they have to do so much math to figure out how much poundage they need for like 4 or 5 days ahead of time. So their process is always almost like a week ahead of how much meat they have. Oh, we use this much on Sundays, and like they just have it down such to a system that it's insane.
It's probably what they're doing over at Franklin's. Have you been to Franklin's?
I haven't. That's the one place.
Me neither. I always see the line and stuff, and I'm like, it's one of those things. You see a line, I'm like, well, there's got to be a reason there's a line there. Always.
Yeah. Franklin is actually the last one that I'm like, that and Snow's Barbecue. I don't know if you've seen Snow's. There's a dope show on Netflix, and it's this little old lady. She's like the head pit master there. And it's supposed to be the most amazing barbecue ever. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from here.
Oh, shit.
So I kind of want to road trip it.
Yeah, it's kind of in the
to go there. But have you had Terry Black's?
Yeah, that's it. That's my go-to. Like, if someone's coming to town and they're like, hey, let's go get some barbecue, let's grab some beers, I'm like, let's just go to Terry Black's. It's easy. There's usually a line, goes by quick. It's
like the Disneyland effect. People want to go there.
Yeah.
Like it's like Buc-ee's.
You're
like, let's take them
like
to Terry Black's.
Yeah, it's an easy go.
Have you had Black's Barbecue?
Is that out like...
There's one in San Marcos. There's one in... the original one.
Yeah, I've had the one in San Marcos.
The original one's in Lockhart, I think. Yeah. Also, Driftwood. Yeah. What is the other? There's the Salt Lick. Have you had that one? Mm-hmm. Salt Lick's really good.
Salt Lick's pretty good.
But I like Black's Barbecue actually more than Terry Black's.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Isn't it like a family that split up or something?
It's a family that split up. It's the same recipe.
They probably weren't Hispanic. That would never
happen. Man.
That would never happen.
That would be the Negros, man. But I actually know the lawyer who represented the Black's Barbecue, like the family and the brother, and it was some beef that they split, and he took his recipe this way, and then they took the recipe and then
literal beef.
Literal beef.
Okay. Like, are you talking about the brisket?
Yeah, and then but it's like the same thing, but Terry Black's just got hyped up by Joe Rogan, and it just
that's what a lot of people say. They're like, oh yeah, Rogan just hyped it up. I'm like, yeah.
He's got the golden touch, man. He mentioned something and it's like, boom.
I wonder what he last mentioned on his podcast that like made a difference to that business. I know he does the sushi stuff a lot.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
I couldn't name it, but I know he's like, yeah, you can't get in now. It's a line or something.
Allegedly, Austin has the best sushi in the world. I've never had it here.
Really?
It's a bold claim because I don't see any oceans nearby.
Yeah.
And
super bold.
I don't know if they're pulling that shit out of Corpus Christi because I've been down there. It just looks like the Loch Ness Monster.
I just came from Galveston. I don't want any.
Like, dude, you're going to get some sludge sea creatures coming out of there. No disrespect to the coast of Texas, but I'm sure the Gulf of Mexico is kind of nearby. Has some good fish, but
but like sushi. When I think of sushi grade, I think of like super pink salmon and like those the ahi tuna. Like that's not swimming in Galveston. No way.
No.
I bet they're getting it from like the Northwest and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but that would just be the last place. But I guess you could just have it shipped in on a regular schedule. I mean, are you flying it in?
Yeah, probably on ice or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know the last thing that Rogan's mentioned. Have you felt silly right now that we're still in character? I think I
kind of started forgetting about it.
I'll be honest with you. I think I look more ridiculous than you with these glasses and everything.
Let me see.
Okay. So I've started looking at you normal and forget this is what I look like.
Yeah. I kind of just feel like I'm like, for some reason, dressed for the cold.
Yeah.
Because I am sweating a little bit. Yeah, this is extra silly.
Yeah. And they kept moving on me.
I can see why you felt like Waldo.
Dude, yeah.
Next time, let me be Harry Potter.
They look ridiculous. I can't believe you've actually had a real talk with me this whole time while wearing that. Yeah, man, we did over an hour.
Really? It's been that quick already?
That's what she said, man. Bringing it around to the beginning. The first time you're Malfoy.
J.K Rowling.
Shout out. She got canceled. Have you seen all of that stuff?
Don't talk about my Lord and Savior like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's the thing. It's the weirdest thing that everybody turned on her.
Yeah.
It's a weird time to be saying anything.
What did she say? She said that
she's proud to be a woman.
Will always be a girl or something like that.
I don't even know if she went that far.
Oh, okay.
I think she said that.
Because all I'm thinking about is all the bits that I've heard from all like other professional comedians, open micers. So I'm just like super middlemanning the information.
Yeah.
I haven't taken the time to look into it.
From what I remember reading, and I could be missing a piece, is just the disclaimer I have to give.
For sure.
Before I get canceled by the who knows who. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that she said that when you do this whole gender isn't a thing and men can get pregnant and all this stuff, you're watering down her belief of what makes a woman powerful and like how much she values. She says people can be whoever they want, but I have so much, I love being a woman and what a woman can do. And also it was very rational. Yeah. And because of that, they went after her because it wasn't inclusive enough for them. Yeah. To the point where it was like crazy. They didn't even include her in like some 25-year special that they did about Harry Potter. Yeah, it was weird. They did like a whole show, like a 4-part series, and they didn't even have her. They were like, nah, bitch.
The whole, that's the god of Harry Potter.
It's like that scene from Training Day when he's like, y'all think you could do this to me?
Yeah, yeah.
She was Denzel, like, nah, man. But
Denzel. Shit.
But Denzel, who stayed home, she took it. It's crazy.
It does sound like she was like trying to make like a feminist, like, we're women, let's be strong together. We were born with. Yeah. Also, as a straight white dude, I'm like, yeah, say what you want, dude. Anybody can be anything.
Yeah, it's wild.
With a wand.
Dude, you know what's kind of crazy is because I just saw this happening. So I did an episode, so I'll do solo ones sometimes. I did one about, have you heard of the kids who wanted to be cats? They are identifying as cats. I would
like to hear more
in school. Well, I have to tiptoe now because your boy got in trouble. I did a whole episode talking about this, how there's like kids in high school wanted to be cats, identify as cats. The school had to let them. So there's a group
in
of
high
kids,
school.
High school. Yeah.
In high school.
And
I thought we were going to be talking like 4th grade.
That happened also. There's also younger kids who are doing it too. And I put out this episode and it went insane on YouTube with what are called Therians, which is a new word for furries, came after me. Apparently, I ended up in a furry Discord server.
Oh, no.
And they just attacked. And they were saying, they're like, we're going to attack you. Do your thing, Therians. Like, they went crazy. Yeah. Then my stories that I posted about that and my Instagram got taken down. And then my engagement dropped on Instagram by 82%.
Holy shit. You got a pretty good little following on Instagram.
The furries came after me, dog.
Damn.
Your boy's done. I'm cut out. I'm the new J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. The furry. And it was all because...
I just did an episode talking about and making jokes. Be like, if you're going to be anything, why would you be a cat?
Yeah.
Like, be something cooler than that.
Like, and it's probably a house cat we're talking about, huh?
Yeah, it's not even a jungle cat, dude.
Yeah, like a lion. Like, if you come up to me and like, you're a lion, I'm like, yeah, you're king of the jungle. That's sick.
I respect it.
That is a sick choice. But a
Alpha
house cat,
yeah.
You're going to piss inside.
Yeah.
You're going to never see the outside world.
Yeah. And that's the other thing.
I'm anti-fur. No,
not you, Joe.
No, I was just kidding. Anyone can be anything. That's what I said earlier.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy. And I mean, I was like, if you want to commit to that, you got to commit. We got to put a litter box in the bathroom. You can't use the toilet. Like you got to, if
there's
you're
no
do
in
it,
between.
Go all the way.
Yeah.
And that's why we're letting people walk the fence too much. They can do both, the best of both worlds. You don't think I want to be an animal, not have responsibilities for a while?
Yeah, I'd like to be my dog for a couple days. That sounds awesome.
It'd be great. My dog has the greatest life. Just lazy, doesn't work, stress-free, barks at people every now and then.
Yeah.
And she just gets to skate through life.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a she.
Yeah. Beowulf, it's a strong name.
Yeah, it is.
She's a handsome dog.
She is handsome.
She might be non-binary, actually.
J.K. Rowling would hate your dog. Dude. J.K. Rowling would hate Beowulf.
That's fucked up, man.
She'd miss the next bicentennial, whatever, Harry Potter, just so she could say, fuck Beowulf. She'd be sooner to dress up in a furry outfit than to pet your...
That was such a great connection through all those bits that you just did right now. Wow. You really did it.
I'm just trying to get people against me. It sounds like that's what gets engagement now. Who else should we trash talk?
Dude, who's
We're
next?
not even trash talking.
Fucking
like,
Maddie
honest
Stu.
to God, if someone's like willing to take the time to do something and that makes them feel better in any way, I mean, that's why I do comedy, because it just other people, like to some of these people dressing up, they're probably like, that guy's crazy, but it makes me feel good. So if it makes you feel good, throw on the whiskers. Throw them on.
Yeah. I support it too. Just don't attack me for it. You know?
Yeah. Or don't like make me feel dumb for not understanding why I don't do that.
Because here's also the other thing is also the acknowledgement of what they are. Like, I don't care if someone wants to identify as whatever, but then they get upset if you mess up by saying the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, there's like, how could you fucking do that?
Yeah.
If we keep going the way we are, people are going to be offended if you call them a Siamese cat versus a tabby cat.
Yeah.
Like you're like, how did you know from these whiskers?
Yeah,
Obviously I'm Siamese.
Yeah. I grew up in the mountains.
Yeah, dude. They're
Not
just
see
like,
that shit, Rich?
they're not, I'm not an alley cat. Quit treating me like that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like 50, it might take long enough for it to get like that. 50 years, what's going on with that?
If we survive as a species, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah, I'm curious. Maybe we just need like one big reset.
It might happen.
Yeah.
It
I
could
feel like
easily
now
happen.
I'm talking like Duncan Trussell and Joe Rogan. We just need one big reset, man.
I think it's happening. Something weird's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like they're like, 30 years ago, two guys talking, there's always weird shit going. Something's always going to be the weirdest.
Yeah.
Like whatever we're talking about 30 years from now, we're like, remember when we were worried about the cat guys? Yeah, fuck them. Whatever.
Yeah.
They were doing their thing. We're doing our thing.
It definitely, I do think it has gotten better when you think about like, you'll watch some movies from like 20, 25 years ago and you're actually like, wow, this is kind of crazy. And I'm not even like a super woke, liberal progressive, but I'm like, wow, that is kind of nuts. And even like in reality, when people say like the world's falling apart and everything, like, dude, there was like a time in this world, like the country was literally at war with itself.
Yeah.
Like we had a civil war.
Yeah.
I feel like racially and everything, it's never been better. Like I feel like people are unified.
It's just easier than ever to highlight the bad because of the information age.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
100%.
Because back then there was millions of fucking murders, slavery, horrible things, but no one had iPhone 10 Pro Max to show everyone else what's going on. It's just like you just heard about it word of mouth.
And sometimes you didn't even hear about it.
Yeah, you did. Everything gets pushed under the bus.
I don't look at my Nextdoor app or any neighborhood groups or anything or crime reports because I feel like that just fucks with your head.
Oh, it will.
Like I feel like you're not supposed to know about so much to a level where you're like, you got to be safe and everything.
Yeah.
But I think also with the information age, people are seeing these super triggering things. Cause like, and I say triggering, like I hate that word's been ruined.
Yeah. Trigger.
But triggering is like you hear about someone that got beat up because of a racial thing in your neighborhood, in your town. You're like, holy shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But then now with the internet, you have the ability to hear about 1,000 of those happening in one day all across the country or the world. Worldwide. And it's like, we're not supposed to be able to know all that tragedy. Yeah. Like it's too much. It'll literally ruin your life.
Yeah. It's probably why the people who like live off grid, they'll every now and then have like a little documentary about them. And these people have no idea where their videos are going, but they just look so fucking happy. They're like, I wake up, we bathe outside. This is my outhouse. We go catch deer. And they're just like so happy to just be in one reserve bubble, which is cool. But
I could see myself having a balance of that where I'm disconnected.
I'd like to do it for 1 month. And
then like, nah.
Take what I learned. I don't know.
Well, I think even there's like a modified version of that that's more healthy than being connected all the time. Because I do that. I don't sleep with my phone in the same room.
Yeah.
And I make sure like I journal, read, stretch, and like I'll do 30 minutes of writing stand-up before I even look at my phone.
That's sick. Like once you wake up, you're saying? Damn, see, I always like, I hear about these practices and like I'm usually an anxious, very nervous guy. And I'm like, I could be doing all these things. And sometimes I do, but it's just so easy for me to be like, I'm just going to watch Harold and Kumar until I fall asleep.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm jealous of that. Wake up, have a ritual. Don't touch your phone. Don't sleep next to your phone. That's good. It's because
I'm super undisciplined if I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like I need structure. Because if I'm the kind of person that I can get lost on my phone. Yeah, I can just be looking at stories, reels, everything. I can be in bed wanting to fall asleep and I'm just staring at it. And then I'm also the person who I'll wake up first thing, let me check my DMs. Oh, let me see this. Oh, let me blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, you can start your day off. Because there's like also the science of it. Like you deplete all your melatonin or your dopamine and serotonin from even seeing so much, like seeing a screen instantly. And then it's like the scrolling. And then you can start your FOMO of being like, oh, wow, this happened. Oh, wow, this and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then it's like you get a bad email or a bad text message. And then now your day is like tethered to that.
Yeah.
So it's like by keeping my phone, I keep it in the closet, and because my phone's gay.
Yeah.
And
it'll come out.
Yeah. I'm like almost weird to the point of discipline in my morning where I drink water instantly, make coffee, I get my book, and I get my journal, and I journal a page, and then I start reading. And then I'll come in here and I'll do, and I'll go outside. I'll make sure like I get sunlight and like the dog goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then I'll do 30 minutes of writing with the timer. And
damn,
I get that done. And then I'll usually try to do like a follow along stretch to like just, and then after that, I'm like my day, no matter what, I did all those like things to start my day.
Yeah. In a pretty not that long amount of time.
Yeah.
But it is a lot.
And it was completely not distracted.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'll be happy because I'm like, hey, I journaled. I doing the 30 minutes of stand up right up in the beginning of like writing, go over sets gives me like a base of like, okay, I'm ready for tonight. Like I can go out and I know I worked on this. And you're like,
this might be,
you started off with like such good momentum rather than, you know,
I'm going to try to adopt a lot of that.
Dude,
honestly.
hell yeah.
'Cause last night I had one of the worst panic attacks of my life.
Really?
Yeah. I only brought up the other one because we were talking about weed, but I was like falling asleep and I was just on my phone, just watching. I'm falling asleep and like I guess I could like kind of feel myself falling asleep. And then I was like up and then I kept doing that and I guess it freaked me out and like my hands were tingling and I just got myself into a full panic thinking about everything I got to do. I just been out of town. I've been pushing stuff off, been doing this, and this. And I even got my roommate. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking, because I had heart surgery when I was a little baby. So as soon as I start freaking out, my mind goes to, oh yeah, I totally forgot about my heart's going to explode, you know, which is unrealistic. I get it, you know, I get it checked up once a year. Yeah. And it makes me think maybe if I, you know, fucking wasn't just focused on now get some drinks, I'll go fuck around, I'll fall asleep watching a movie, I'll wake up, get on my phone right away when I wake up. So I think like the disconnect will be huge. There needs to be a disconnect. Yeah. And especially if you're someone that, so I run like a video production business and do stand up, and it's like I'm trying to do 2 full-time things. And it's hard. I know it's hard for you, like actually having a real job and then trying to do this. It's like, it's easy for me to get overstimulated. Yep. And at the same time of being overstimulated, it's easy for me to get distracted and to fall behind. So in my phone, I have a to-do list for every single day written out. Yeah. And I have core things that I know I got to get done. And a lot of like when I got to do this, I got to do that. If I just put it into my to-do list for the next day or the day after, it takes that anxiety away. That's true. Like that overstimulation kind of goes away for that particular thing. Because if I'm worried about it, and then like I feel like if I'm not thinking about it, I'm gonna forget about it. Once I put it in a to-do list, it goes away, and that calms me. It's like a little serotonin bump once you actually get to it too. You know, even I got to do so much laundry today. Yeah, did the laundry. What's next? Yeah, it's like stupid, but it works, dude. Lists are huge for me. They like changed my life. Of like boom, 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 and it really it puts it objective your day, because then over time you start seeing like, is this stuff that's actually needs to get done? Or am I filling my day with busy time? Because like you'll start off and you'll be like, I never can get everything done. And then you start looking over what's the actual important things I got to get done. Sure. So that made a lot of anxiety go away for me. Yeah. Was just getting control of sleep, of my nights and my mornings. Yeah. And have you ever taken Calm? Have you heard of them? It's like a magnesium drink that like, it reduces anxiety at night. Magnesium. Yeah. So magnesium, that's another thing that like with anxiety is that sometimes for a lot of people, it's a deficiency in magnesium. What? Yeah. Kind of like if you're anemic, you have low iron. Yeah. And the same thing with vitamin D. So at night I drink magnesium to drink. I'm looking into all I'm going to give you a little bit of a baggie to go. You start tonight, dog. And I'm taking the wand with hell yeah, doc. No, I gotta return that. Think I'm keeping these? Yeah. This is a one-time deal. But furry costumes to buy. For my next podcast. I actually reached out to them and I was like, I want to talk to the leader. And they're like, we don't have a leader. Like they're a fucking pack or something. Nah, bro, it's just one big wolf that leads them all. Don't let them talk to you like that.
But yeah, man, Joe, we did almost an hour and a half, man. This has been a great podcast.
Oh yeah, that was fun as hell.
We didn't even get to the heart stuff. I totally forgot that you have this situation where you take a pill every day. Yeah. It's
just like preventative medicine.
So you had heart surgery when you were...
Yeah, when I was born. I had heart surgery. And then now I go once. It used to be every 6 months when I was younger. But now that I've like grown, because it's more of a concern when you're like, you're growing into your body. But now that I'm like a grown adult, I just go once a year and they're like, yep, things are still working.
Good.
As long as I'm not, I have no restrictions or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just with the anxiety and stuff, that's the first thing my mind goes to.
It's
like, oh shit, what if the doctor was wrong about things being okay?
Yeah, man. Those intrusive thoughts are terrible. And especially for you, that's to actually have your mind go to a place where there's some kind of validity, whether it's true or not.
Sure.
To have something to base it off of, it's terrifying, man.
Yeah.
We'll get you some magnesium.
That's all I need. Magnesium.
Dude, that's all it is.
Cast a spell, get some magnesium.
Yeah, we're going to get them to sponsor this episode.
Oh, yeah.
But Joe, where can people find you? Plug it and your shows.
Yeah. If you're in Austin, we do a monthly show, usually last Saturday of the month at Monk's Jazz Club. We're starting to do first Thursday of the month. That should be getting in the works. You can find all this information from my Instagram. That's going to be Joe C. McNamara on Instagram. Joe C. McNamara on Instagram. And other than that, I'm good.
Hell yeah. And we will put all his socials in the podcast description and the YouTube description as well. So,
hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, brother.
Let's touch tips.
Yeah, one last tip.
Bing.